would like a coffee and a piece of cake, please. Oh, hello. I would like a coffee and a piece of cake, please. Hello, can I have coffee and
Oh, let me guess your words. A piece of cake, please.
Do you sometimes feel like you don't have enough vocabulary or even the right vocabulary in certain situations? Maybe you doubt whether the words you're using sound too formal or unnatural. For example, do you know any other ways I could have asked for coffee and a piece of cake? Well, not to worry, because in today's lesson we'll teach you great new vocabulary that you can use in different situations that you might experience in everyday life, from ordering food to going to the doctor, even asking someone out. Plus, to make sure you always have access to these new words, we've put together something very special for you, but you'll have to wait until the end of the lesson to find out what it is and where to find it. But before we get started, if you would like to join our community of over 370,000 learners, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell down below so you never miss out on any of our new lessons. Usually, some of the first conversations we have each day is to greet someone. So to make sure you don't only say, "Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thanks." Let's look at 3 alternative ways you can greet someone in English as well as how to respond. This first one is a bit formal and is suitable for business situations or when showing respect to someone older. Good day, pleased to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you too. Good day is a greeting that is generally used between sunrise and sunset. You can use pleased to meet you when you are replying to someone who you've met for the very first time. Hi, how's it going? Everything's going well, thanks. How about you? This is a very common expression used to greet someone you already know. This expression is asking how a person's life is going. Are they well? Are they healthy? How is it going with their job? We can think of it as your life, and you can respond to this question any way you want. Hey, long time no see. Yeah, it's been a while. How have you been? This is a casual greeting that is often used when you haven't seen someone in a while, particularly if you meet unexpectedly. You might be wondering how much time is a long time. Well, it depends on how often you normally see that person. It could be 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, whatever feels like a long time to you. As the day has just started, you might be quite hungry and you need to order food. How would you do that in a natural way? Well, here are a few different options you can use when ordering food. When the waiter asks, "Are you ready to order?" or "Can I take your order?" you can respond by saying, "I'd like." For example, "I'd like the Cobb salad." "I'll have." For example, "I'll have the chef's special, please." "Could I get?" For example, "Could I get an iced tea as well, please?" "I'd like" and "I'll have" is simply stating your order, but "could I have" is a more polite request. And now you ate your meal and you're quite full, but you'd like to ask for the bill. How would you do that? Well, generally, you could just call the waiter over and ask, "We're ready for the check, please." "Could you bring the bill, please?" "Can we have the bill, please?" These are all polite and can be used in different types of restaurants. Also, if you're ordering in a restaurant that is not in your own country, be sure to research the local culture, because in some countries it is normal to tip the waiters at the end of the meal. At the end of today's lesson, be sure to check out this lesson we did a while back on English for restaurants. So at this point of the day, some of us might need to commute, which means to travel to and from work. Or perhaps you need to catch a flight to travel to a different part of the country. So let's say you were sharing the taxi with someone, or the person seated next to you on the plane starts up a conversation. Or it could even be you who wants to strike up a conversation with them. What would you say? You could start by greeting, but impersonal questions are some of the best ways to initiate conversation with someone you don't know. We can connect our conversation with events that are happening around us. For example, excuse me, do you know what the time is? Or, sorry, do you know where the restroom is? Talk about the weather. Weather is the ultimate small talk topic. With a little creativity, you can spark some engaging discussions. For example, the weather is so nice today. It's hard to believe there was a hurricane last week. Asking if they've traveled anywhere interesting lately could also lead to fascinating conversations. For example, I really enjoy seeing new places. What's the most interesting place you've been to lately? After you start speaking, pay attention to their reaction to know whether or not they want you to continue the conversation. If they appear a little rude, then stop talking to them. But if they ask a question back and they seem friendly, then continue the conversation. But if you're nervous about having a conversation with a stranger in person, then it might help to practice with a speaking partner first. This is one of the many great benefits for using our RealLife English app. This is the only place where anytime, anywhere, at the press of a button, you can connect with other English learners from around the world. You can have fascinating conversations about your life, your passions, the weather, absolutely anything you want. This will take you from feeling like a lost and insecure English learner to being a confident and natural English speaker. So download it now for free by clicking up here or down in the description below, or simply search for RealLife English in your favorite app store. So after you've traveled, you arrive at your destination, but you start to feel really sick. You're not sure what it is, but it might be the food you ate at the restaurant. So you decide it's best to see a doctor. So once you're at the hospital or doctor's office, how would you ask for help? If it's an emergency, you can say, "I urgently need to see a doctor, please." If it's not so urgent, you can say, "I'd like to make an appointment with the doctor, please." If you'd like to see your regular doctor or one you usually see, you can say, "I'd like to see Dr. Smith, please." Now you're seeing the doctor and he asks about your symptoms. How would you describe it to him? In this case, you ate something bad and your stomach hurts. So you could say, "My stomach hurts and I lost my appetite." To describe the pain you're feeling, you can say, "My body part," in this case, "my stomach hurts." If you've lost your appetite, it means that you have no desire to eat. "I have painful stomach cramps and I feel nauseous." A cramp is a sudden and painful tightening in a muscle, in this case, your stomach. To feel nauseous means to feel as though you might vomit. Here are a few additional ways to describe the pain. A dull pain, which is a constant pain that is not too bad. A constant pain, a pain that doesn't go away. A sharp pain, an intense pain that may come and go. So the doctor gives you some medicine and soon you're feeling energetic and healthy again. You're ecstatic because you really want to go to a concert tonight. So you decide to ask someone you like to join you. "I have an extra ticket to that concert you wanted to see. Would you like to join me this evening?" This is friendly and shows that you remembered something they are interested in. "Your favorite band is in town this evening and I have 2 tickets to the concert. What time can I pick you up?" This is playful and the kind of message you could send to someone who enjoys a bit of humor. "I'm I'm not sure if you already have plans for this evening, but I have 2 tickets to the concert you wanted to go to, and I was hoping you could join me. This is quite polite and can be sent to someone you know very well or someone you've only recently started getting to know. Of course, they agreed to go with you, but now you have to head to the hair salon so you look your best this evening. So what would you say once you get there? I would like a trim. You don't have to say would in this case. You could just say, just a trim, please. That means that I want just a little bit of hair removed from my current hairstyle. So just a trim is probably the most basic and common request you can have when you go to the hair salon. Could you straighten my hair? This means to use a hair iron or similar product to turn your curly or wavy hair into straight hair. I would like to dye my hair. So if you would like to change the color of your hair, you could say, I would like to dye my hair or I would like to color my hair. But to be specific about the color, you could say, I would like to dye my hair black or blue or pink, whatever the case may be. You could also say, I want to change the color of my hair. So the 2 of you had a blast at the concert, and at the end of the night, you want to greet them. So instead of saying goodbye, you could say, first, it's important to know the difference between good night and good evening. Good evening is a greeting that you use when you see someone for the first time that night. However, good night is something we say to someone at the end of the day. It's similar to farewell. Take care. Take care can be used in professional and formal situations as well as casual conversations. Keep in mind that you wouldn't typically use this with someone that you see every day. I've got to get going, or I must be going now. This is an informal way of saying goodbye while expressing a sense of urgency. This is a longer form of gotta go and means the same thing. Keep in touch. This is generally used with friends and family who don't see each other often and want to stay in contact. What a crazy, eventful day this has been, and you've learned 30 new phrases you can use in everyday situations. To help you continue your learning, we've created a free downloadable PDF document that you can access by clicking on the link in the description below. I hope you enjoyed watching this lesson as much as I enjoyed teaching it, and hopefully you learned something that you didn't know before. Make sure you like this video and share it with a friend who is also learning English. But before you go, check out this lesson we recently did.
John was concerned and said, I'm uncomfortable with this situation. John was concerned and said, I'm uncomfortable with this situation.
Hey, your new couch is just beautiful. Do you like it?
Well, I like the color, but it's a little uncomfortable. I gotta go. We've all been there, right?